This is day 5, I think. In truth, for me, it's day 1, or day 2. It's day 2. I did a lot of videos on day 1, but I decided I'd sprinkle throughout the next few days. My main goal is to upload a video every day, not necessarily make a video, even though, that is the whole point, is to kind of get in the habit of making videos on a regular basis. But you can't do it every day. Some days you miss, but it doesn't mean that I can miss. Doesn't mean I have to miss a day in actually uploading. So upload every day. I was thinking today about the past, about history, and came to the conclusion that sometimes it is better not to know. When I was young, not just younger, but young, like just before I was able to drive, I'd say kind of young, I had a job working in the Texas Ren Festival. It was an awesome job. I loved doing it. I would take this cart and I would walk around the entire festival grounds selling these ice cream sandwiches. It was absolutely wonderful. Probably one of my favorite jobs of all time. Not because I, was selling sandwiches, but I was interacting with people. Which is funny if anyone knows me. I'm not much of a people person, but I love going around seeing all the different people, seeing all the different things, all the shows. It was my job to watch the shows because as soon as the shows let out, everyone would come out and then I'd be right there selling the ice cream as the show was letting out. It was a brilliant strategy and I got to watch the shows. It was great. I wore this outfit. Yeah. Imagine that. I'm a Rennie. Who knew? So I was working this job, and I worked it for a couple of years. It was seasonal, very seasonal. One weekend or 2 days, Saturday, Sunday, for 2 months. And one of the times, there was one weekend, one day, and I ran across this girl, and I was talking to her. And we met up afterwards. And if you've never seen a Ren Festival when the gates close, when all the shops close out, it's not always the same everywhere. But the way it used to be there, at least, some 20 plus years ago, they would have fires and there would be food and celebrations and people just out there partying and having a good time. It was wonderful. It was a great time. And through one of those, I met this girl. And we were talking, and we went out into the fairgrounds. And the fairgrounds, when there was no one there, it was all empty. You saw all the little shops, they were all closed off, but the moon was out. And it was a bright, full moon. And we just walked, and we talked. And it was, we would lay on the grass and look up at the sky. And it was just such a beautiful, magical night. It's the kind of night that you see in a movie, or, it's just absolutely perfect. And if you're a smart person, you'll have that kind of night and leave it alone. Let it move on. Let yourself move on. Go somewhere else. I did not. It's one of those situations where if you have this kind of night, you wonder, what if I had contacted her later on? What if, we had pursued something? Except I found out the what if because I did pursue and I did continue on. And, when we're in costume and we're in the night sky and everything's magical, it's beautiful. But when you're back in your regular clothing and you're out in the real world, it becomes a little different. And I was, of course, a nerdy little teenage kid, and she was beautiful. She was an absolutely and nice, very sweet, very, very beautiful, very sweet girl. I'd like to pretend like the biggest issue we had was the fact that we lived at least an hour apart. This is before, instant messaging, and we've closed the gaps a lot. Now you could have a relationship halfway around the world, and It'd be like you're right there next to each other watching movies or whatever. No, this is before all that. So all we really had was telephone to sit there and talk to each other on. And we did go out on another date. I managed to convince her, but it was of course me doing all the work, it was clear that I was the only one invested in the relationship. So after that date, and it was a nice date. I don't even remember what it was we did. I think we went and saw a movie or something. I don't know. But it was a real pain to get around to. You had to have parents drive. Like I said, it was right before I got my license, so a little bit of an awkward age. And it just all kind of fell apart. And I think it would have been so much better had I just left it with that one magical night and not see where it could go afterwards. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying never pursue, never try and follow what you think would be a good thing. But sometimes you got to leave a magical night to itself, just as it is. Let it be perfect, and don't let what follows be something that taints that memory. Because sometimes you're better off not knowing what if. Until tomorrow.